Talking about the top 10 draft picks is something we all hear year after year, the same quarterbacks, wide receivers, and big-name playmakers who dominate the conversation. But today, we're going to break away from that well-trodden path. Sometimes I hit on these players, and other times, I miss big time. That's the beauty of the draft though. It's full of surprises, and that's what keeps us all coming back for more. Whether it's a quarterback or an underrated offensive tackle, there's always someone who stands out and proves the pundits wrong. So, today we're going to talk about some of those overlooked players who may end up making their names known when it matters the most. So let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into the first underrated prospect in this year's draft class. Charles Grant, the underrated offensive tackle. First up, let's talk about Charles Grant, an offensive tackle from William & Mary. Now, you might be asking, William & Mary? Is that a school that produces NFL talent? And my answer to you is, yes, absolutely. Grant might not be from a football powerhouse like Alabama or Ohio State, but the tools he has could make him a diamond in the rough. Grant is 6 feet 5 inches, weighs 311 pounds, and has nearly 35-inch arms. Now, you're probably thinking, big deal, there are a lot of big guys out there. But here's where it gets interesting, Grant has elite movement skills for his size. He's nimble, he has incredible balance, and when you combine that with his raw power, he's got the foundation to make an immediate impact in the NFL. Here's a fun story for you, Charles Grant wasn't always a football player. He started out as a wrestler and didn't pick up football until midway through high school. Despite being new to the game, he didn't just start playing, he excelled. He went from an under-recruited player to an All-American in a short period of time. That kind of progression is exactly what NFL teams love to see. He's a late bloomer, but sometimes the best players don't hit their peak until later in their careers. Now, let's talk about his development. Over the years, Grant has continuously improved. He's gotten better every season, and his technique has grown more refined. The fact that he has this kind of linear development tells me that he has the potential to continue to improve even at the next level. He's a player who works hard, and we've seen that hard work pay off on the field. His wrestling background is evident in his playstyle. He's strong in the lower body, and his balance and footwork are top-notch. These are critical skills for an offensive lineman, and it's clear that Grant's foundation in wrestling has translated well to football. His ability to drive defenders off the ball and create holes in the run game is a key strength. Brayden Swinson, the power edge rusher. Switching gears, let's move on to Brayden Swinson, an edge rusher from LSU. Now, if you know me, you know I love power rushers. I've talked about this before when I placed Jared Verse as my top edge rusher last year, and that's why Brayden Swinson is a player I think has all the potential to be a top-tier edge rusher in the NFL. Swinson is not the most agile player in the class, and he doesn't have the kind of bend that makes scouts drool, but what he lacks in flexibility, he more than makes up for with pure strength. When he gets his hands on an offensive tackle, it's over. He's 6 feet 4 inches, 255 pounds, with a 33.5-inch arm span, and he uses all of that to drive blockers backward. His ability to dominate in the trenches is something you don't see every day. Here's the story of how Brayden Swinson became the player he is. He wasn't the most highly recruited player coming out of high school. But he worked his tail off at LSU, and he got better every season. What really stands out to me is his versatility. Swinson can play all three downs, and he doesn't just rush the passer. He's effective against the run, too, using his strength to shed blockers and finish plays. He might not be the most explosive or the bendiest edge rusher, but when you combine his strength, technique, and ability to finish plays, you've got a player who can contribute to your team on every down. Swinson's stats tell the story. He had a 32.6% pass rush win rate, which is exceptional, and he also ranked 5th in pass rush productivity. What I love about Swinson is his consistency. He didn't just dominate in games against lower-level competition, he did it in the SEC, against some of the best defensive lines in college football. If you're looking for a player who can immediately make an impact on your defensive line, Brayden Swinson is a guy to keep your eye on. Brayden Swinson, a true power rusher. Let's talk more about what makes Swinson such a great edge rusher. He wins with power, but he's also a technician with his hands. His ability to convert that power into pressure is what makes him so effective. It's one thing to be strong, but it's another to be able to use that strength to disengage from blockers and collapse the pocket. Swinson does that as well as anyone in this draft class. As a run defender, he's just as impactful. He can set the edge and shed blockers, making him an all-around threat on defense. He's a player who can play on all three downs and provide a consistent rush off the edge. For teams picking late in the first round or early in the second, Brayden Swinson is a name you need to know. He's a versatile, powerful edge rusher who could be a difference maker for years to come. Amarian Norman-Lott is one of the most underrated defensive prospects in this year's NFL draft, yet he's shown immense potential that deserves more attention. Playing as a defensive tackle for Arizona State, Norman-Lott has quietly built a reputation for being an explosive and powerful player, despite not getting the recognition that some of his peers have received. Standing at 6 feet 2 inches and weighing 290 pounds, Norman-Lott doesn't have the overwhelming size that you might expect from a top-tier defensive lineman. However, it's his incredible strength and ability to generate power at the line of scrimmage that sets him apart. He has a low center of gravity, great hand placement, and a relentless motor that allows him to disrupt plays in both the running and passing game. What makes Norman-Lott so intriguing is his ability to rush the passer. He has an exceptional pass rush win rate of 26%, which is remarkable for an interior defensive lineman. His quick burst off the ball, coupled with his hand technique, allows him to collapse the pocket and pressure the quarterback effectively. One of his biggest advantages is his strength relative to his size. While he's not the biggest tackle on the field, he consistently dominates offensive linemen with his power. He's also got the agility and flexibility to quickly shed blockers, which is an essential trait for an interior pass rusher. However, it's not just about his pass rush. Norman-Lott is a strong run defender too. While he may not be the most polished against the run, he has shown the ability to hold his ground, set the edge, and disrupt running plays. In fact, his ability to stop the run on early downs makes him a versatile asset for any defense. Norman-Lott didn't get as much hype as some of the other interior defensive linemen in this draft class, but make no mistake, his ability to impact the game is undeniable. He's had a solid career at Arizona State and has the tools to be a great rotational piece or even a starting interior defensive lineman in the NFL. His combined numbers and his pass rush productivity make him a player worth watching. With a potential to slip into the late first round or early second round, Norman-Lott could be one of the biggest steals of the draft. If a team is looking for a player with raw power, strong hands, and the ability to pressure the quarterback, Norman-Lott should be on their radar. He might not be the most talked about prospect, but he's definitely one to keep an eye on as the draft approaches. Jimmy Horn Jr. may not be the biggest receiver in the 2023 NFL draft class, but he's certainly one of the most explosive. Standing at 5 feet 9 inches and weighing 175 pounds, Horn doesn't have the imposing size that many NFL teams look for in a wide receiver. However, what he lacks in size, he makes up for with his incredible speed, agility, and playmaking ability. Playing at Colorado, Horn was part of a crowded wide receiver room alongside talent like Travis Hunter and LeJohntay Wester. Despite this, he managed to shine, showcasing his ability to turn small plays into big gains with his quickness and ball skills. Whether he was stretching the field deep or catching short passes and turning them into long runs, Horn always found a way to contribute. One of his standout traits is his game speed. At the 2023 NFL Combine, Horn proved he could accelerate quickly and reach top speed almost instantly. He may not have the best 40-yard dash time, But his game speed, how fast he moves in live situations, is what makes him dangerous. His route runner. His sharp cuts and ability to change direction quickly make him a constant threat at all levels of the field. While some might question his size, Horn is fearless and doesn't shy away from making tough catches, especially in contest. His vision and agility allow him to turn a short catch into a big play, often making defenders miss in the open field. Another noteworthy aspect of Horn's game is his football IQ. He's smart, quick to read defenses, and adjusts to become a major contributor in the NFL. If he lands with the right team that knows how to utilize his speed and versatility, he could become a significant weapon in their offense. His agility, quickness, and playmaking ability make him a great pick for any team looking for an explosive and dynamic receiver. Jaden Higgins is one of the most complete wide receivers in this year's NFL draft, and yet, he's still flying under the radar for many. Standing tall at 6 feet 4 inches and weighing 215 pounds, Higgins combines size, speed, and athleticism in a way that few receivers can match. Despite his physical traits, he often gets overlooked because of his role in an offense that heavily relied on deep routes, limiting his chances to showcase his full skill set. Higgins played at Western Kentucky, where he was the focal point of the offense. Known for his explosive plays and deep ball ability, Higgins made a name for himself with his game-breaking speed and ability to win contested catches. What stands out about Higgins, however, is not just his ability to make big plays, but his ability to run a full route tree with the technical precision of a veteran receiver. One of his most impressive attributes is his game speed. Although his 40-yard dash time was solid, his on-field performance is what sets him apart. He is a fluid route runner, capable of moving at full speed while making sharp, quick cuts. Higgins' size and strength allow him to shed defenders and create separation in contested situations, something that sets him apart from many other top receivers in this draft class. What makes Higgins even more appealing is his ability to perform in high-pressure situations. Whether he was facing single coverage or battling cornerbacks in tight spaces, he consistently made crucial plays. He has a natural ability to track the ball and win jump balls, especially in the red zone, where he's a major threat. With 31 first downs and 9 touchdowns last season, Higgins proved that he could deliver when it mattered most. His contested catch rate of 53% is a clear indicator of his ability to win those high-pressure situations, even when cornerbacks are all over him. While some may focus on his relatively low production during certain parts of the season, it's important to consider the high volume of contested catches Higgins was involved in, given the deep ball-heavy offense he played in. With that kind of role, it's expected that some of his targets would be more challenging than others. But Higgins didn't shy away from it. In fact, he thrived in those situations. Off the field, Higgins is known for his work ethic, maturity, and commitment to improvement. His dedication to mastering his craft has helped him develop from a raw prospect into a complete wide receiver. Whether it's his ability to adjust his routes on the fly or his knack for tracking deep balls, Higgins has proven that he has the skills to succeed at the next level. For teams looking for a big, strong receiver who can contribute immediately, Jaden Higgins should be a top target. His potential to be a number 1 receiver is clear, and despite the challenges he faced in his college offense, his natural talent and explosiveness make him one of the most intriguing prospects in this draft.